who's our top 12. And we are ready to get into Debre Harrier. They have started us off right on time with the moving round 1.
Looks like a Germany here. I want to say the sign Debre had the word Köln on it, which is the German name for Cologne, but I'm not sure if it was trustworthy or not. But he doesn't seem to be paying too much attention to that. We'll see if either player is able to find anything else here. Germany, a pretty good country for moving. You'll get a lot of clues. Town entry and exit signs will have subdivisions on them if you're able to learn them. But he is clicking Cologne, so that is what he ends up settling on here. We'll see if Harrier has anything. I'm not sure if he's seen much.
Yeah, I don't think he's seen much. It just seems like he's trying to find whatever he can in the last second here, but he's going to go in a similar area. With Debre, if it is Cologne, it's going to be closer. Oh, they both are in Cologne. Looks like Harrier had a little more space plonk down into Cologne. It works out for him. 22. 22 points.
Ibadan, it says it's a very large city in Nigeria. I have to assume that both players know what Ibadan is.
Yeah.
Debre sees it and sends immediately.
The insta-scented Harrier, maybe not read it.
That also says Ibadan. There he goes.
Yep. Now he finds it. He finds it on the second sign. It works once again. Both players just right there. Harrier a little closer.
Well, very little separate him so far. Realistically, the game's not going to come down to region guesses within cities, so I think, yeah, rounds like this might make a little more of a difference. This looks like urban Ukraine. There was an area code there. I wonder if... Ooh, does Harrier know them?
Does Harrier know? I wonder if either of our players could read this either.
Oh, that says Kharkiv.
Oh, yep, it did. Debre sees it. Quick guess, 2 times damage. That's 1,800 down to Harrier. Going into round 4, Harrier not looking happy about that, but you can see him hyping himself up, locking back in.
I have to assume Harrier misremembered the area code there, because you could see his reaction. He was like, wait, what? And then he was like, did a little bit of thinking, and then he was like, oh yeah, it's that one. So I think he just missed that.
Understandable. Now,
Jordan, we have water to the west.
Something like that happens, you never forget. So if he gets it again, it'll be good. Yeah, we do have Jordan there, and we have an impressive, quick 5K lining up the water from Debre.
Beautiful, beautiful guess from Debre there. Yeah, fairly easy to line up. I mean, you can tell it's Jordan from the car and the road lines and stuff, and then you have the water to the west, which is that sort of Dead Sea area, so there's not too much to scan. Really, really well done from Debre.
And I am happy
by the looks of it.
A little urban Russia. No worries. I was just going to say, I am also very happy to see Debre in the league, because I did have a chat with him after the World Cup, and he wasn't sure if he was going to continue, so I'm very happy to see he is. We do have a Kaliningrad here, quick from Harrier. Debre in Donetsk in Ukraine.
Huge difference.
That's a massive difference. Debre shocked at that, and he loses off that.
I'm really curious what Debre saw or thought he saw. I don't know if it was just the general, like, more European look of the architecture in combination with the black car. He thought that could be Donetsk. But of course that works as well for Kaliningrad. I believe Harrier saw Kaliningrad on an ad, on a sign, so he was confident, but Debre definitely taken aback there.
Yeah, he does still seem calm, though, which is good, but, you know, not what you want to see. I was just mentioning him considering staying in it, and, you know, he did. I'm happy he did. He's here. One little blunder's not going to get him down.
Yep.
But
definitely a blow for Debre, though, because he, again, I think Debre's a very, very balanced player. I would say more so than Harrier. He considers himself a very good moving player, so I think losing the moving to Harrier is definitely not what Debre expected to happen.
Agreed, 100%. I think Debre is the overall more balanced one, and he was playing so well in the other parts of that game.
Both players know that this is Chile, but not an easy one to region guess.
Yeah, it does seem it should be pretty far south, at least relative to Santiago or like the Atacama Desert, pretty far south because it's quite green. Again, as you go down, Chile gets more and more green. and then much more deserty as you go north. Debre pretty far south. Harrier as well, but a little farther north, I believe, if I'm reading that right. But I think they're both pretty close to each other.
Yeah. There's a bit more north than that.
Bit more north, 140 down to Harrier. We go next.
Australia, urban, we're on a highway. So you have these like eucalyptus trees, we're driving on the left, the white lines, all very good clues for Australia. It wouldn't shock me if we're near a large city here, that would be my guess, but is it Brisbane, is it Sydney, is it Canberra, is it Melbourne? That's a little harder to say.
Yeah.
You guys are looking at the license plates, which is a good strategy because the states do have specific license plates.
We have a Victoria, I guess. Harrier. Debre seems to be zoomed in on New South Wales, but is he keeping it there? We'll see. Looks like he's gonna go Sydney.
Sydney, yeah. With
And
the red
Harrier.
car, I'm not sure I like Victoria or South Australia with the red car. I think I prefer New South Wales, like a Sydney or a Canberra.
I like it as well. Harrier staying in Victoria, pretty near South Australia. No real big multi yet, but it is 1.5 times damage. It is just Melbourne. Harrier looks a little confused at that. He is still closer though. Takes a decent bit of damage off of Debre. As we go into our third round here.
Fair enough. I stand corrected about the car. But yeah, Melbourne. I mean, makes sense. It makes sense that it's in the metropolitan area, the larger city there. The way that it looks. This is interesting. So this is Malaysia. We have the black and white signposts are much more common in Malaysia than Indonesia. We have sort of Malay-looking language here as well. So all of that checks out for Malaysia. But
both seem to be looking in mainland, which is interesting.
Yeah, it looks weird. Like, maybe too weird for... I don't know. It definitely looks unusual for Borneo, although it's certainly possible. But I like the mainland guess as well.
Yeah, it does make sense. They all seem to be far north, too. Both very close to each other. It is quite far north. That is a Harrier win again. If Debre wants to stay in these, he's going to have to lock in a bit. The multis are rising, which is good for him. He does need that because he is down about 2k here as we get into only round 4. It's a pretty big point differential for only being in round 4. Our players do seem to be in Mexico now. It seems pretty far north. I would say somewhere Mexico City and up because it's sandy, mountainous, short vegetation. Is Debre lining up a road here? It seems like he might be. Is he confident? We'll see.
I wonder, yeah. You said big point differential. This is big country, big points here, so Debre definitely with a chance to take some points off of Harrier, especially if he can find the road, but that's going to be hard to do, but I wouldn't put it past him.
I wouldn't either. Debre with a pretty quick lock, putting the pressure on Harrier. It's not getting to him. Harrier's taking his whole 15 seconds here to debate what he wants to do. He's keeping it right there, Nueva Leon. They're both pretty close to each other. Harrier a little closer again.
Very consistent start from Harrier here in the no move. Debre, I mean, he's under a lot of pressure here. Again, he doesn't want to start 0-2. Especially 0-4 in terms of games, so he definitely knows he has to step it up right now.
He sure does. He seems sort of confident. He already zoomed in quick. Again, we did have a massive turkey flag there. Obviously going to be a big help. It's pretty green, you can see, even though it's urban. And you do see mountains like that straight south, so the north of the country makes quite a bit of sense. Harrier opting pretty kind of near Istanbul now. Debre seems farther east.
It is. Harrier again.
Harrier with 3 times damage. That's a massive blow to Debre's health. Debre is on his last breath right now. 233 health to Harrier, almost full.
Kyrgyzstan, this is not what Debre wants to see. I mean, I don't know how good he is at Kyrgyzstan, but you don't really want to be in a small country right now with the health the way it is. Debre needs this.
You definitely do not. Debre possibly trying to line up a road. He is a big mapper. Debre has a map called A Balanced World, and I know a lot of his practice lately has just been working on updating that map and not a lot of playtime. So maybe if he's been looking at any of the Kyrgyzstan coverage, maybe he knows these roads. It's a very common mapper thing to know specific roads. So we'll see here. He locks in something.
So he's gone for the gorge south of Karabalta. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. I'm not great with Kyrgyzstan. Debre is south of Bishkek, so they're not in the same place. This could end the game if Harrier has it.
They're quite far apart here.
Oh, it's close.
It's
really
close. Harrier's closer, though. That's going to be the win for him. That gives Harrier a 2-0 versus Debre, his first match win in the league.